Imagine gazing up at the night sky where thousands of satellites silently orbit, not just for stargazing apps or global internet, but as the unseen backbone of modern warfare. Welcome to the era of space warfare, a secretive race among superpowers that's transforming the heavens into a potential battlefield. While space has long been militarized for support roles, recent advancements are pushing boundaries, raising alarms about conflicts that could cascade back to Earth. Today, we'll explore the current military capabilities in orbit, the rise of anti-satellite weapons, the birth of dedicated space forces, the vulnerabilities they expose, and the fragile international laws trying to keep the peace. Military powers rely heavily on space for essential capabilities that underpin every operation. Surveillance satellites, like the U.S. Keyhole series or Russia's Persona, provide real-time imagery and signals intelligence, allowing commanders to spy on enemy movements from thousands of kilometers away. Communication satellites ensure secure, jam-resistant links for troops worldwide, while navigation systems such as America's GPS, Russia's GLONASS, China's Beidou, and Europe's Galileo deliver precise positioning for everything from missile guidance to drone strikes. These assets aren't just tools, they're force multipliers, enabling coordinated attacks and rapid decision-making in conflicts from Ukraine to the South China Sea. Yet, this reliance has spurred the development of anti-satellite (ASAT) weapons designed to blind or destroy these orbital lifelines. Major powers have tested such systems with alarming frequency. China shattered one of its own satellites in 2007, creating thousands of debris fragments. India followed in 2019 with its Mission Shakti test. Russia conducted a direct ascent ASAT strike in 2021, endangering the International Space Station. And the US, which tested similar tech in the 1980s and 2008, now focuses on non-kinetic options like lasers and cyber attacks while maintaining a self-imposed ban on destructive tests since 2022. These weapons range from ground-based missiles and co-orbital killer satellites to electronic jammers, highlighting an arms race where even non-explosive methods could disable foes without a trace. In response to these threats, nations are forming dedicated military space organizations. The United States established the Space Force in December 2019 as its sixth branch of the armed forces, tasked with protecting American interests in orbit and integrating space operations across the military. Similarly, Russia merged its space assets into the Aerospace Forces in 2015, emphasizing defense against space-based attacks, while China reorganized its Strategic Support Force into the Aerospace Force in 2024, bolstering capabilities for satellite warfare and reconnaissance. These entities reflect a shift toward viewing space as a warfighting domain, much like air, land, or sea. The vulnerabilities are stark. Modern militaries are perilously dependent on space infrastructure, where a single ASAT attack could disrupt communications, navigation, and intelligence, effectively crippling operations. For instance, without GPS, precision-guided munitions lose accuracy, supply chains falter, and command structures fracture, scenarios that could turn the tide in conflicts like a potential Taiwan Strait crisis. Debris from ASAT tests exacerbates risks, creating hazardous clouds that threaten all satellites, including civilian ones, in a phenomenon known as Kessler syndrome, where collisions cascade uncontrollably. Governing this high-stakes arena is a patchwork of international space law, starting with the 1967 Outer Space Treaty, signed by over 110 countries, which mandates peaceful exploration and prohibits placing nuclear weapons or other weapons of mass destruction in orbit. However, it doesn't ban conventional ASAT weapons or military satellites, allowing the militarization we've seen. Treaties like the 1963 Partial Test Ban prohibit nuclear explosions in space, but enforcement is weak, and proposals for a prevention of an arms race in outer space, Paros, treaty, have stalled amid geopolitical tensions. As nations like the US, Russia, and China jockey for dominance, the absence of binding restrictions risks escalating conflicts, underscoring the urgent need for diplomacy to preserve space as a global commons. In this invisible arms race above our planet, the stakes couldn't be higher. Disruptions in space could ripple into everyday life, from blacked-out GPS to severed internet. As technology advances, so must our commitment to safeguarding the final frontier before a spark in orbit ignites chaos on Earth.